right, Aaron, I'm ready. Okay, I'll move back over about a half mile fence. Is there a TFR over there? Okay, thanks, I'm moving over. Aaron, I'm sorry, I'm ready now. Yeah, Rick, go ahead. Well, these pictures are going to be somewhat deceptive right now because the air traffic controllers over at the big airport have kicked us out of their airspace for whatever reason. So this is the best shot the public's going to get at this point. We're roughly almost 4 miles away. So I would venture to say that these fires are still burning very out of control. The first responders are still responding in massive forces. You can still see, I can still see them racing down the Waterson I-65 so they can approach off of Outer Loop and Fern Valley Road. So a massive response to this. The fires are still burning out of control, but like I said, we're probably 3.5, 4 miles away at this point. At the request of Louisville Power Grid.
on an hour flight like that. And there were also some jump seaters, what we call them jump seaters. Some people flying as more than likely company employees that would have been on board the flight for official business reasons.
So you're saying a crew of 3 plus the 4?
Yes. That's my information from.
And Reed, I was mentioning a few minutes ago that in the past, many years ago, UPS used to take, when we hear Honolulu, they used to take people on flights to different destinations, and they stopped that. Do you remember that time, and is that why you believe these are business folks? Meaning?
No, the two are not connected.
Okay.
There was a period of time when UPS, in the early days, they had this large fleet of aircraft, and they would use them on the weekend to go to, you could buy a trip to Mexico or many destinations. And it was just an effort to get more utilization of the aircraft. In this particular case, these folks would have been more than likely company employees if they were what we call jump seating, or if they were riding along to go to Honolulu.
Okay.
They would have been for business reasons connected with the company, not as a leisure thing. They can't, those seats, they can't sell them or anything like that. That's just like the airlines, the commercial airlines, for instance, crew members, certain crew members can jump seat and actually ride in the cockpit. But some of the aircraft, some of the UPS aircraft, 747s for instance, will have a small number of seats there in case company personnel need to go somewhere.
Okay.
And they can do it on a UPS flight.
Okay, Reed, thank you very much. Keep in touch with us, any new information that you have coming in. We appreciate it, Reed Yaden.
Yeah, it's a fast developing story, needless to say, and it is spreading worldwide very rapidly. There is some video out there that I have access to, and we'll see if we can get clearance to use.
You're watching breaking news coverage on a special edition of Live Impact News on WCNC+. You've been listening to an interview being conducted there by our friends at WHAS. Live aerial right now showing the ongoing firefighting and emergency response efforts here in Louisville, Kentucky, after UPS confirms that one of their freight planes bound for Honolulu crashed on its way taking off here from the UPS World Port. If we can go over to our auxiliary source, I want to just talk about some of the impacts of this airport closure. And one of those impacts right here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area where we're based is that flights that were inbound to Louisville have been diverted back to their original destination, including American Airlines Flight 2854, which departed Charlotte at 4:36 this afternoon, made it, as you can see here on Flight Tracker, about halfway to their destination before circling back and safely landing back here in Charlotte just moments ago. And we're going to see more trickle-down effects just like that as the airspace at the airport remains closed because of the massive emergency response effort that continues. Our coverage continues next right here on Live Impact News on WCNC+. We'll take you back over now to WHAS coverage as we continue this breaking news coverage.
As set, this is from our camera over in Jeffersonville. But really that smoke plume has continued to move northward and a bit eastward as well. So you might be able to see it in eastern Jefferson County into Oldham County just due to that southerly wind that we've had. Wind speeds around 9 miles per hour currently coming out around the airport. So something that you can also get when there is a smoke plume is you can see it on a radar. So obviously this wasn't rain. This was the smoke showing up on the radar there and really being lofted up in the air right at the time of the crash within the last hour there. That's why you're seeing some of those yellows, oranges, reds on the radar. And I put the 5-mile radius in there stretching eastward, but as we know, that has been extended now toward the Ohio River northward due to those southerly winds. And so that stretches all the way north and a little bit eastward, I would say, with that plume stretching into potentially southern Indiana and over into Oldham County as well. In terms of wind gusts, those will be staying on the lighter side coming in from the south and southwest over the next several hours. Wind gusts, though, will pick up later on tonight and into the day on Wednesday, expecting those gusts around 20 miles per hour late tonight and up to 30 miles per hour or so for your Wednesday as well. Doug and Connie.
Valerie, thank you very much. We want to bring you the latest information that we have as we've been able to put together some detailed information, and we'll go through it. Again, this information being confirmed by the FAA tonight. The FAA putting out its first statement on this at about 6 minutes past 6. The UPS flight number 2976 crashed at about 5:15. It was departing from Louisville's airport, and it was headed to the airport in Honolulu.
Yes, it was. The McDonnell Douglas MD-11 was headed to the airport in Honolulu. The FAA and NTSB will be investigating. The NTSB will lead that investigation and will provide all updates. The information is preliminary and subject to change.
Getting a lot of different texts from people across the community. They are smelling, as they're calling it, a very strong odor, very strong smell outside their doors and windows here today as this jet, the MD-11 UPS jet, was fully loaded with fuel. As Reed said, it was heading for a 9-hour flight to Honolulu.
And that's 280,000 gallons of fuel, and we're taking a look at that fire. It keeps getting bigger, it seems, Doug, as we have been watching it. And there are folks that are sending